When the group was all prepared and they were ready to leave the safe room, Zoe had to ask Ellis on who the zombie was that has one big arm. Ellis, I have a question. What was that zombie that charged at me and sister and attacked you when you moved us out of the way? Zoe asked. That was a charger. He will charge at you like a bull, Coach replied. When he is charging or about to charge, move out of his way as quickly as possible. Thanks, Coach. Now we'll know for sure for next time, Sister Zoe replied. I can't believe I'm stranded in Savannah, Rochelle said, shaking her head. She could not believe that the infected mess that she was in. Man, Savannah's awesome. Come on, I'll show you the signs on the way to the mall, Ellis replied as Zoe and Coach fired at the wandering zombies that were outside the safe room. After all the wandering zombies were taken care of, Coach walked back to the safe room. The coast is clear, y'all. You can head outside. Coach called as the group walked out of the safe room and started to walk until Zoe and Ellis saw Sister, who was trying to get over a block wall. Sister girlie, what are you doing? Ellis asked. I think I see a campsite on the other side of the block wall. I want to check it out, Sister said as she jumped down from the other side. Hold on, sis. Me and Ellis will follow, Zoe said as she and Ellis also jumped over the wall block and landed in the bush. They crawled down to see Sister standing in front of them. The campsite's quiet. Maybe nobody's here, Sister said as she, Ellis, and Zoe looked around. Maybe someone left and never came back. Maybe they have some good stuff we can use, Zoe suggested as she looked through some bags and they had some medical supplies, ammo, and even bottles of water. All these bags could save hundreds of those who are trying to survive like we are, Zoe said. Let's take it, Ellis said as he grabbed the bags. Hey guys, be ready to catch these bags. You're not going to believe this, Ellis said as he tossed bags of ammo, medical supplies, bottles of water to them, and food. Ellis, is there more of those? Nick asked. We're looking, Ellis called back as Sister, who was looking at the toys, belonged to the group of kids. Kids, I think Sister said to Zoe. Look at all the toys. There's a lot of them. It is possible. Maybe we could find this jump rope that Too Tall and his gang took, and we might have put it somewhere, Zoe said, looking around as she saw a garden. Hey, Sister, there's a garden right behind you, Zoe said. The food doesn't look good, Sister replied. That's because I see the garden. It hasn't been taken care of in a while, but I am not sure how long it's been since they tend to the garden, Zoe said as she saw a hat on the ground. Hey, Sister, I found a hat. It says Jimmy Gibbs Jr. Zoe then handed the hat to Sister. Who's Jimmy Gibbs Jr.? Sister asked as Ellis carried a crate full of stuff. Well, look what I found. A bunch of tools that will be useful. Some of those can be put up to good use, like this multi-tool and these wire cutters, Zoe said, showing some tools and then put them in her sweater pocket. Looky what I see, Sister said as she shows Ellis and Zoe that she found it was a sweater that was green. That's a nice sweater, Sister. It may be a bit big on you, but it'll keep you warm, Zoe said as she puts on the sweater on Sister and rolled up the sleeves a little bit on her jacket. You'll grow into it someday. So, what is Sister looking for, Zoe? Ellis asked as he walked towards her. Well, besides brother. We're looking for my jump rope, Ellis, Sister said as Zoe explained the story of how brother disappeared when he was going to ask Too Tall and his gang that took her jump rope to get it back. All right, Sister. I'll keep you and Zoe look for it. Here, then I'll help you look for it, Ellis said as he saw a military-like tent in front of a tree. Me and Zoe will take a look in that tent and you look behind it, he said. Okay, Sister smiled at Ellis as she said okay, and then she went behind the tent, while Zoe and Ellis walked inside. Well, not much here besides some weapons, Zoe said as she picks up a combat shotgun. I think if we find a clue, it should help us find out where brother is, Ellis said. Then he found a small handful of straw on one of the beds, under the beds. Look what I found a clue, Ellis said, picked up the small handful of straw. This must tell us something. Farmer Ben is a farmer bear back where I lived. Of course, he uses straw to feed the farm animals. I bet he is here too. Maybe he is looking for brother like we are, Sister said. Well, he must be here. Either he's looking for brother or not, Zoe said. Or we may have another villain behind this, Ellis suggested. Remember the time you and Sister Bear told me that story about that witch, Witter Jones? Man, that story was funny. Yes, Ellis, that was funny, but you may be right. Farmer Ben was drinking a lot the other day from what Sister's dad told me, Zoe said. He wasn't himself that day for some odd reason. Well, this small handful of hay will help us. Let me put some of this in my pocket, Ellis said as he put the handful of hay in his boxers near where his groin is. And then he and Zoe walked out of the tent and then went around behind the tent to see his sister looking up at the tree. What did you find? Zoe asked. My jump rope. It's up in that tree. I guess Too Tall in this game put it up there, Sister said as Zoe started to try to climb up the tree on a step stool and was able to get the jump rope back. She handed it back to Sister. Thank you, Zoe. I'm glad we have it. Sister then notices that Ellis was acting funny. He was feeling an itch around his groin area. Ellis, why are you acting funny? Sister asked as Ellis started to itch where the small handful of hay was. Oh, I'm so itchy. Why is it itchy down there? Ellis groaned as he itches his, private area. Sister looked at Zoe like she hasn't seen anything like that before. What does those words mean on a guy? Sister asked Zoe as she was embarrassed to ask Sister that. It's another word for groin or private area is what we have. Have what Ellis said, Zoe said as she began to giggle. Ellis, it was very funny. That's funny. And as Ellis is sure dancing like a clown, Sister laughed as Ellis reached down in his boxers, and of course he pulled the hay out of it. Oh, that's better, Ellis said, no longer feeling the need to scratch. Is there anything else? Zoe asked as Ellis walked around the other side of the tree where Ellis was hung by his ankle. He was upside down and his hat fell off, and there was another girl that looked to be 14 years old. She was wearing a purple shirt with a hunting rifle and she had a backpack with her. So you're right here raiding my camp? She asked. Oh, we're sorry. We didn't know it was your camp. It looked like no one has been here in a while, Ellis said. Are you guys immune? The 14-year-old girl asked. Ellis and Zoe both nodded, except Sister who wasn't immune. Is that bear cub immune? Has she been bitten? No, she is not immune, and she hasn't been bitten either, Zoe replied. We are sorry we raided the camp. It's okay. I knew something like this would happen. Oh, where are my manners? By the way, my name is Ellie. What about your names? Ellie asked. Well, before we tell you our names, Ellie, but would you mind if you get me down from being hung upside down by the ankle, please? Ellis asked nicely. Sure, Ellie said, as she freed Ellis and got up. I'm Sister Bear replied. I'm Zoe, Zoe added. My name's Ellis. Nice to meet you all, Ellie. So how long have you been in this camp for? Ellis asked. I was in a group and we've been holding out here for a month. We have been doing well until people started going missing, and a week later they never returned, Ellie explained. Why don't you join in our group? Coach Nick and Rochelle would like to see you, Sister said. You know what? I'll join the group. Thanks for the welcome, Ellie replied as she, along with Zoe, Ellis, and Sister hopped over the block wall to get back with Nick, Coach, and Rochelle. Who is this girl? Coach asked as he, along with Nick and Rochelle, notices Ellie teamed up with Ellis, Sister, and Zoe. I'm Ellie. I'm new to the group, Ellie said. That camp behind this wall was where me and my group held off at, until everyone started to go missing. I have a feeling that they're dead. That's sad. I feel bad that you have been through a lot. We have too. Welcome to the group, Ellie. I'm Rochelle, Rochelle said. I'm Nick, and if you hurt anyone in your group, I will tear your... Nick was then scaring Ellie so that Rochelle ended up smacking him across the face. Have you lost your mind? Rochelle angrily asked. I want to call you an asshole. I really do. Don't listen to him, Ellie. He's just a pain in the ass, Ellis whispered to Ellie. I'm Coach, and I guess you met Zoe, Sister, and Ellis, Coach said to Ellie, then looked at Nick. I will deal with your attitude later, Nick, he said. Yes, I did. So what is his plan besides keep moving? Ellie asked. We're looking for Brother Bear. He is Sister's older brother, and he has been taken by a charger. So we have to move on and see if we could find him, Zoe said. We did find a clue, Ellis said as Zoe handed a piece of hay to Ellie. Sorry, I put this in my boxers, and I was itching somewhere that nobody needs to know. Of course, Sister and Ellie giggled. Well, Ellis, thanks for the telling TMI, man, Nick said as Coach examined the small handful of hay that Ellis, Sister, and Zoe found. This piece of hay must tell us that we're heading the right way. Is there anyone behind the kidnapping? Coach asked. Farmer Ben might be, but we're not so sure, Sister said as Zoe explained about Farmer Ben might have been on an overdose on alcohol that caused him to go nuts. So this must be a new villain. Well, everyone, let's get to the mall, Coach said, as everyone started to head down the streets inside the building. There was soon crying as they got out one of the buildings and onto another street. I hear crying. Who's crying? Sister asked. I think I hear a witch. Kill that light, Ellis said, as everyone did what Ellis said. and they all saw the crying witch at the end of the street, which was blocked. There's a ladder on that cart we can get to the other side with, Ellie said, as the group walked past the witch, which of course she was the wandering one. And there was a strange sound that Sister never heard. There was a tall woman that was infected, and there was something pouring out of her mouth. "That's a spitting thing, watch out," Rochelle said, as the tall woman notices the group, and they jumped down the cart to the other side. The thing started to spit at the group. "Heads up, goo!" The goo splattered on the ground as Rochelle killed the spitting infected, and Ellis and Zoe felt the burning sensation of the acid as they went away from it. "That spitter crab," Ellis said as he was safe from the acid. "Ah! What was that, zombie?" Zoe asked. "That's called a spitter. She can spit that acid that hurts like hell. The acid will dissolve in a few seconds, though," Rochelle replied. "I better not step in her acid," said Ellie replied. "The gun store should be not far from now," Nick said as the group walked inside the building and shot down the wandering zombies. Then the group got down a ledge to hear another building, which leads to the gun store. "Fire in the hole," Zoe said as she threw a pipe bomb at the zombies that were attracted to the zombies to chase after it. After all the zombies were killed, the group got from the gun store within minutes. As soon as they walked in the group was surprised. "Am I dreaming?" Sister asked as she stared at all the guns of the group. "Oh my lord, it's Christmas!" Ellis said in amazement as he grabbed the auto shotgun with a laser sight. Well, Zoe grabbed the same thing as Ellis did. Coach grabbed a MK-47 and Nick grabbed a hunting rifle. Ellie got more ammo for her gun and Sister grabbed a Magnum. "What is this pistol? It's much heavier to handle than the one I used," Sister said as Ellis helped her steady the gun. Since this gun's a little heavier, you'll have to hold it with 2 hands, and when you shoot, it's more powerful than any other pistol," Ellis replied. "Well, this is to answer the intercom," Coach said as the buzzing sound on the intercom was heard. "Hello there, why don't you grab yourself some of my guns and come upstairs? I've got something that you can help you with. I barricaded myself on the roof of the Empire Provisions, but in my haste, I forgot cola, so here's my prohibition. If you go find me some cola at yonder food store, I'll clear the path to the mall for you," said the wit taker, who was the man behind the intercom, and the group opened the door. "We'll get what you need, sir, and we'll be back with what you need," Zoe replied. "I'm a man in my world, madam. You sure got my word on that," Woodtaker said, as the group stopped to see a group of special infected. "Quiet," Zoe said to the group. "What's the matter, Zoe?" Ellie asked as Zoe grabbed her binoculars and started to see what was going on near the truck that was blocking the way. "What's going on?" Sister asked. "I see a bunch of special infected, and I think your brother is there," Zoe said as she handed Sister her binoculars to see what was going on. "Farmer Ben's there, too. He could be behind the mess?" Sister asked. "If brother is at the bridge where the military will bomb it, so I think the survivors along with Sister come to me, and we will have to get rid of the group. Now we have to take him there." Of course, Farmer Ben said to the group of infected who were taking brother away. "Why are they taking him?" Coach asked. "To the bridge where the military will destroy it? This doesn't sound too good," Zoe said. "Let me see who this person is," Ellis said as Zoe handed him the binoculars. "Oh crap. He surely walks in like a drunken psycho man. You see, now we know who's the man who's behind this bull crap, Rochelle said as the tank noticed the group. "Kill those people," Farmer Ben said to the tank as the group started to spread out and began to take down the tank. "Don't stop running," Ellis yelled. "Keep shooting the tank," Nick added as the tank hit the car, caused Zoe to be knocked down to the ground. "Ah, I'm down!" Zoe cried out as the tank that was focusing on the other survivors while Ellis ran towards Zoe to her rescue. "It's all right now, Zoe girl. We'll get you up on your feet," Ellis said as Zoe stood up when she was limping. "God, this really hurts." Zoe moaned in pain. Then she heard Sister screaming as a tank hit her that caused Sister to be flying into the air till she hit the ground. "Sister!" Zoe screamed in terror as she tried to run towards Sister, but ended up limping instead, followed by Ellis, who followed her. "Oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God, Sister, are you okay?" Zoe asked as Sister started to tremble a bit as she was about to cry. "The tank scared me. He wasn't like the other one," Sister said as she began to cry. Zoe held her sister close to her to let her cry in her arms. "I know you're scared. I am as well. He's more aggressive looking than the other ones we fought almost a year ago," Zoe said as she patted Sister. Sister saw some scrapes and some gaping wounds. "Here, I'll heal you," Zoe said as she healed Sister by placing some bandages on her. Zoe groaned in pain, but as soon as she held Sister, and she was all better, the tank was then killed. Thanks for healing me, Zoe. But what about you? You're injured, Sister said. Here, let me see, Ellis said as he saw a huge scrape on Zoe's leg from when the tank hit her in the car. That made her fell and scrape her leg good. It was a big one. Let me clean it, Ellis said as he looked at the group. Can we have some, can we be alone, please? Why? Nick asked. I'm going to heal her. Since the scrape is on her legs, her pants will have to come off for a minute, Ellie said as Nick, Rochelle, and Coach, along with Ellie, walked over to the store, and they tried to think of a plan how to get the cola. Ellis saw that Zoe was in pain and wanted to help her get the roll up her sleeve on her pants. Didn't want to take too much advantage of a young woman to hurt her. It's okay, I trust you, Zoe said, as Ellis slid up her jean leg, and then Sister was watching out for her infected when Ellis says, Hey, Ellis, don't laugh if you see my underwear, Zoe said as she face-palmed. Why on earth would I do that? Ellis asked as he and Zoe laughed, but then Zoe groaned in pain again. Easy, girl. Let me clean up the blood, he said as he grabbed a cloth and then grabbed a bottle of water and dumped some water on the cloth. It will sting a bit, just to warn you, Ellis said as Zoe nodded as she was ready for the stinging as Ellis placed the cloth on where the scrape was. Zoe then felt the stinging sensation as Ellis began to clean her wound. Ow! 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 Zoe groaned in pain. I'm sorry. At least you're being still with me, Ellis said as he cleaned off the blood from his friend's wound. I'm glad you're gentle with me, Ellis, Zoe replied as the wound was being cleaned, and Ellis used some of the bandages on Zoe and wrapped around the wound tightly so that he would prevent any blood from escaping. Thanks, Ellis, Zoe said as Ellis was finished and Zoe was fully healed. She put her pants leg back down, and of course she was good as new. It was no problem. I do care for all my friends, Ellis said as he saw that Ellie got the cola. Girl, you are so fast you got the cola, he said to Ellie. I got it from getting into the store and then coming back out, Ellie replied as she ran back to the gun store and to give the cola to the wheel taker, and of course he cleared the path to the group to the mall. Good luck on getting them to the mall, he said. The group then walked through the whole path where a wet taker cleared out for them, and then they saw a safe house in the mall. With that everyone was in, the horde of zombies ran after them. Of course, the safe room door was closed and everyone was safe. We're kicking ass, Zoe cheered as the group all said that everyone had did a great job. The group was all inside the safe room, safe. What is this mall? Sister asked. I've been in the mall in Bear Country, but not here. This is Liberty Mall. It's one of the biggest ones here, Ellis said as he checked to make sure the coast was clear. It's okay, it's a bit quiet, all except for the wandering zombies, so I say we should check it out, Rochelle said to the group. Everyone agreed with her. Maybe Farmer Ben and Brother Bear is spit somewhere else in the mall, Ellis suggested. Oh God, I hate malls, Ellis groaned. Who the hell is Farmer Ben? Farmer Ben is someone who we saw before getting into the mall. I think he had a plan to kill all of us when we get to Brother, Ellie replied. Farmer Ben would never do that, unless he was crazy, Sister said. Crazy people could do crazy stuff, Sister. Nothing much we can change about that, Rochelle replied as everyone was all prepared to leave the safe room. Everyone gather around, Coach said as everyone did what Coach said. It was time for a meeting. Let's pray, cross our fingers, and I hope God keeps Brother Bear safe and Farmer Ben from Farmer Ben the infected. And I do hope we could save him while we were still alive. Who's in the mall that I can help? Zoe asked. Sita has to be in the mall somewhere, but maybe they might have seen Brother or perhaps Farmer Ben as well, Coach replied. If they do know where Brother is, then maybe they can help us. The group walked out of the safe room, and they were all standing right in front of a set of the excavator. I guess we'll have to do is find Sita and save Brother and Farmer Ben and stop him, basically, Zoe said. Right, guys? She and Ellis then looked around to see that Nick, Rochelle, Coach, and Ellie and Sister were not around. Guys? Where did they go? Zoe asked. Well, I guess it's just me and you, Zoe girl, Ellis said as they turned around to see Ellie and Sister on the top of the second floor of the mall. Then she tossed down a rope ladder. How did you get up there? Zoe asked. We climbed the excavator, so I want you guys to try out my rope ladder. It's great for climbing walls and stuff, Ellie said as Ellis and Zoe climbed up the rope ladder. Nice gadget, Ellie. But do you know where Coach, Nick, and Rochelle went off to as well? Zoe asked. They said they'd be back. We should be in a group of 4, which we are. I think Coach, Nick, and Rochelle went to go find Sita, Sister said. Well, I guess we'll all be staying together now, which means no wandering off, Ellis said, as the group walked in the mall. I never knew this mall would be much bigger than the one in Bear Country, Sister said. No kidding, Sister Bear. I remember I went there and I got ourselves lost, Zoe said as she started laughing along with Sister's laugh joined by Ellis and Ellie's laughs. You're funny, Zoe and Sister. You both crack me up with your stories, Ellie said. I remember my girlfriend Zoe and Sister went to the truck and they were being flown in the air by Witter Jones. Oh man, that was cool. I wish I was here to see that, Ellis said as everyone started laughing. You called Zoe girlfriend, Sister laughed. Well, yeah, she is a girl as a friend, Ellis said as he wanted to make things professional. Well, me and Ellis will teach you more about what we did back then, and Ellie about it. And of course, we both got new partners we could train, Zoe said as they went under the shutters. Then let's do it, Zoe girl, Ellis said. And you too, Sister Bear, Ellie added. So basically, Zoe, along with Ellis and their new friends, were basically doing what they normally do. Of course, Zoe and Sister Bear basically taught Ellie and Ellis what they learned from when Witter Jones had kidnapped the cubs. And of course, they eventually got the hang of it. The group walked down the alleyway until there was a hyena-like laughter following them. What was that? Sister asked. It's someone or something I never heard before. It must be a new special infected, Zoe said. That is one of those jockeys, I think they're called. They'll ride on you and steer you to infected and other things. It could be dangerous, Ellis said, as a jockey was racing towards the group. Jockey! Zoe shouted as she started to shoot the jockey when it jumped on Ellie. Ah, get this thing off of me! She screamed as Sister shot the jockey off of Ellie and Ellis kicked the jockey. Thanks, you guys. You did a great job. Farmer Ben must be behind this mess, Sister said. And we have to find the group, Ellis said as he led Zoe, Sister, and Ellie through the mall. And once they reached to a kid store, they can see Rochelle, Nick, and Coach all talking from afar behind the glass. Hey, you guys, we're over here, Sister shouted as Coach shot the glass to break it so his friends could be regrouped with them. You guys okay? We were worried, Rochelle said. We thought we lost you guys, Ellie said. And now this alarm is ringing in our ears, Nick said as the alarm attracted a horde of zombies. The group had to run upstairs to shut off the alarm, and they had to fight zombies along the way. There was a spitter, a charger, a boomer, and even a hunter, which the group was able to handle without anyone getting hurt. Ellis and Zoe got into the room, and they had a car alarm and had alarm controls, and they were able to shut down the alarm. Alarms off! Ellis called as the group took down the last few zombies, and they continued walking the mall until they found a safe room, which of course they walked up the stairs, and once they got into the safe room, everyone was safe and okay, and the group all agreed that they would rest for a while in the safe room.